Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, Telnor Beastmaster of the Thunder Guard. And this is last week in testing, a day late because I had a really bad head cold Sunday. I'm getting over it now. But last week in testing was a bit, both simultaneously uneventful and frustrating. We started the week off with a rollback because some members of the alpha test were found an exploit and didn't report it. And then Thursday, Intrepid tried to put forth a patch to add some gear to the vendors, which is a badly needed change. But unfortunately, the gear that got added to the vendors was of entirely too good a quality. So it was unbalancing the game mechanics. So they had to undo the change and then do a rollback to remove all of the super good equipment that they had been selling. That's both kind of disappointing, but it's part of alpha testing. I'd much rather have the exploiters caught and dealt with here in alpha when it really doesn't matter to the long run. Oh, you silly, silly bird, you. Yeah, the number of ravens and hawks in this area is rather annoying. Although it's been greatly reduced from what it was at the start of Phase 3. Alright, have a seat here and do some eating. On a positive note, my Iron Health Channel Stone offhand focus has been fixed, so now I can properly use it with my physical wand. So I got both of these, and this week I also managed to make myself some armor, some pretty nice armor, really. Got a chest, legs, and boots, all blue quality. However, I don't have any more recipes to make the rest of the armor set, although I do have the materials standing by for when I do find the recipes. I think I might have to go into one of the low-level pocket dungeons and grind the mobs in there to get those recipes that I need. Because the recipes you can buy in the anvils are the same as the one in the Riverlands, but they're tied to the zone for some odd reason which I don't understand. So while I can go get, the second sword division recipes, I can't actually make second sword division gear unless I go back to the Riverlands. Which, to be fair, most of the players from the Anvils have done that. And because of the fact that there are no gear drops here in the Anvils, there is no equipment out here. All these annoying birds everywhere. And on top of that, that's made the nodes here to be slow to develop, so that chased even more people. So the Anvils is in a bit of a death spiral as far as player population is concerned. However, I am determined to stick it out and try to get the Kaltorum node leveled up to the point where it has crafting stations and the like. Because currently there are no developed nodes in the Anvils, only in the Riverlands. Alright, I'm going to... I almost dropped a trap, but I changed my mind because these deer floating right nearby, well, it's a deer and a ram. These are non-hostile, but if I drop a trap and they wander into the trap, they will turn hostile and become a problem for me. So I'm going to grab the Highwayman Raider here. Alright, now begin circling them. Which is overall a good strategy because many of these enemies have directional attacks So if you can be behind them when they launch their directional attack, you take no damage. Alright, he dropped something green. Let's see what it is. Dim glint. Well, glint's always good, I guess. I prefer a crafting recipe, but non-starred enemies have very little chance of dropping them. Although humanoid enemies that aren't starred can drop them. Like I said, it's rare. I'm going to take on the Searcher. Show them how it's done. Oop, accidentally swapped weapons. That deer spooked me for a minute running up behind me like that. I don't know why that deer's all up in my business. It's almost like it's trying to get me to accidentally hit it so it can join the fight. It's flag baiting me. So overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad week. The 2 rollbacks are disappointing, but it's a necessary process for testing, and it's far better that those issues are taken care of now, while it doesn't matter then later on, than have them show up later on in the live game. But I'm going to try to get to level 10 today and get the guild formed. Thank you very much for watching.